Hello everyone, Sterling White here, your favorite investor. Those of you who are on the YouTube, you know the next steps. Hit that subscribe button so you can get notified on the absolute bombs and gems that are dropped moving forward. And in today's topic, we'll be going over the 5 tips to cold calling. All right, so the first one, as simple as it sounds, is just to make the call. Yes, I know when I mentioned at the beginning, I'm going over the 5 tips to cold calling. Some of you may get a little bit squeamish. I believe that's the word I'm looking for to actually say, or a little bit uneasy. But through that is, if you yourself, if you're not able to make the call, then it's as simple to find someone else who will do it for you. There's very simple sites that are out there. That is Fiverr.com, that is Fiverr.com to find someone very affordable, or even Upwork.com. It's just very simple just to pull out your phone. I know you're calling a complete stranger, but it comes down to what your why is to be able to make that call. Because I'm a firm believer that once you do make that call, you're really able to build rapport with that person on the other end versus using other channels such as maybe direct mail or bandit signs. So there's that one. The second is to have a script, to know what you're going to say and how you're going to exactly say it. So my structure that I have with the script is you have your greeting, you have your reason for the call, you have your qualifying questions, and then you have your close, essentially. So how it goes is, I'll just do a little bit of role playing for you, because before going into these calls it's good to do role playing that way, because there's going to be rejection that you're going to hear. So I'll just give you as simple as, hello, name's Sterling. Hey John, wanted to personally reach out to you. I see you own Bentwood Apartments. Wanted to see if you consider selling. So jumping right, you have the greeting, you have the reason for the call, and then also jumping, asking them a question. And then that's when you go for, okay, for the right price, what would you consider selling for? So there you go, having that script and having that structure, and then you just replicate that for all the owners that you call. So that's the second. And then the third is the follow-up. The follow-up has been an absolute game changer for myself, because what it comes down to is it takes between the 6 to 8 touch just to get in contact with a person, whether you're using cold call, direct mail, or just word of mouth, just in general. It's going to take that many attempts just to get in contact with someone to give your pitch. And then a lot of the times the person may not be interested up front. So it's going to take multiple follow-ups after that to then convert them from not being interested to then being interested. The actual apartment that I'm in right now, that is 80 units, it took 7 attempts just to get in contact with the decision maker of the property. And this was the actual area where all the negotiations went down, in this specific location that you see me in. And it's been renovated since then. There was an old desk that was over there. And so it took that many attempts just to get in contact. They were interested up front, and then it took an additional 4 months of follow-up to then it came down to timing to where they were in the situation to where they had to sell. But through the course of that, I was making personal visits to the office. I was sending love notes, not exactly love notes, but it was just handwritten notes just saying, hey, if anything happens to change, I'm still here. I'm the right buyer for you. So that's that with the follow-up. Please make note of that. The fourth is just a simple agreement, which is to always agree. And this is another thing is when you're speaking with an owner or a seller, I'll give you just a prime example that happened to me, where I gave a low offer to the other individual on the other end, and they told me I should not be in the business whatsoever, and I have no clue what I'm doing. So from that, I could have went into disagreement and said, I've been in the business just under a decade. Your property is in distressed condition. This is the actual value for it. But no, I just took the agreement route and said, completely understand. If anything happens to change, be sure to reach out. So always agree, because it's just human nature. When you disagree with someone on the other end, then that's just going to cause some friction. So if you go into the agreement that allows you to be able to follow up at a later point versus just ruining your chances. And then the last tip is rejection. I know, and this goes back to the beginning, why people don't make the call is they're afraid of the rejection element. Yes, you will get more no's than you will get yeses, but all you need is that one yes, and you just have to be willing to overcome those objections and not internalize when someone happens to not, one, agree with whatever offer that you have, or they just say they're not interested. This where it comes down to is just having a large enough pipeline to where you can move on to the next deal. So those are the 5 tips that I have for you. And one thing, as I mentioned, don't forget to hit that subscribe button just below those of you who are on the YouTube. And yeah, so I'll catch you on the next video. Thank you so much.